모든 건 변했다. 히트 시즌2.
What is up? I'm Tasteless, joined with Valdez, and we're here for another day in Pro League 2016. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Gonna be some good games we got coming up here. I know I always say that, but today, just like yesterday,
Today you really mean it.
Yeah, I really mean it today. Just like all the other days that I mean it. I love my job. I love
man.
these matchups.
I've been so happy this year doing Pro League, man. It's so fun to come down here. I've been doing so many individual leagues, like in Korea and outside Korea, but this tournament is very special. It's so much more interesting to see the two teams come down and duke it out, to see the players support each other, to see that drama unfold. And yeah, this is going to be, I think, a fantastic day. Although it also, in all fairness, in all honesty, may be a very one-sided day.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, you look at the matchups that we have, SKT versus Samsung to start the day, and then you got Jinner versus CJ Entis. Now, Jinner is the best team by far nowadays. Even over KT, they made it look, it did go to the ace match, but the games they were winning were very one-sided. And CJ has fallen off, right? Hero and Biel, they're not really carrying their weight as much.
Oddly enough, yeah, which is a bit unexpected.
They're not even playing MC today, right? I mean, they brought this new guy on, and he looked amazing. He was able to defeat Zest in a PvP, but then they don't use him again after he took a loss the second time he came out here. So kind of an interesting lineup there. And then the first one, SKT versus Samsung. SKT is having probably the worst round that they've ever had. They're 0-3 right now.
Yeah,
which is just insane.
Well, that's really crazy. Historically, they've been the best esports team of all time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a shocker. Yeah, there it is right at the bottom of our screen, 0-3. I feel like I'm in a parallel universe right now saying that. The rest of this is, especially for top two, pretty non-surprising. Jinner on top. KT, of course, they've got a pretty stellar lineup of one-on-one players that they can dish out here. Now, the Afrika Freaks are not doing bad at all, and that's very interesting. I think that, out of the entire group, might be the most interesting story here, since that is a brand new team, the newest Starcraft 2 team in Korea.
Yeah, for sure. We got our winners ranking here. Maru, Hero, and Zest up at the top, but Maru is 14-1. He's only taken one loss, which is just... you have to imagine how hard that is to do in one of the most competitive leagues in the world, if not the most.
14-1 is just insane. Okay, normally if you got like a 60% win record, you're damn good.
Yeah.
You're quite scary. Here's going to be our lineup today: Dark versus Solar, Impact versus Hurricane, Classic versus Reality, and if we do go to Game 4, Innovation versus Deer. Now, Deer, I feel like, is their strongest player, and it's kind of an odd spot that he's brought out here in number 4.
It could really come back to bite them, especially if, Dark is on his game again. You can see he's got that downwards arrow, and that's because the last couple times he's come out, he's really dropped the ball. He took 2 losses, actually. One time against the Afrika Freaks, he lost to Alive, and then he lost to Patience in the ace match. So it's not the Dark that we're used to seeing. And today, I actually bet that he was going to be on his game, and that SKT, they got the whips out. They're like, you guys are really messing up. We gotta practice a bit more. We gotta get our stuff together here.
Yeah, I wonder if we're too stuck in the past. Oh, by the way, guys, here we go. Definitely check it out. I am in Shanghai. Not at Shanghai.
Yeah, the Gold Challenger match, meaning the finals of Round 3 playoffs. That is going to be on July 31st. That Sunday. I'm going to be there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to cast because I'm actually doing
interviews, right?
Yeah, I'm doing interviewing stuff, which is definitely new for me, but
it'll be fun.
A fun experience for sure.
Oh, no, I think that'll be really fun. So let's see what Dark's condition is going to be here today. He is up against Solar. Solar is, I think, pretty solid, consistent Zerg. I would say this should be a pretty close match. Wow, okay. It's not as close as you can get.
There you go.
8-8 here. So let's see. It's going to be one game. Anything could happen. As you were saying, Valdez, Dark is not playing as well as I think we're all used to seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, even Solar getting some extra votes here. Generally in the past, maybe a couple of weeks ago, everybody would be voting for Dark, I would assume. But not the case today. By the way, Wolf is up at the top. He is one prediction ahead of me and Daehyun.
Tasteless is at the bottom for the foreign casters.
It's all right. There's still time.
I'm duking it out for number 2 biggest loser right now to the casters.
Kanata really dropped the ball this time around.
He didn't make some crazy predictions, man. He's a little like GTR. GTR was surprised me with his prediction as well. Anyways, guys, let's go into game number 1. Dark versus Solar. Introducing our players in the bottom left. He is Dark. And in the bottom right, in the blue, Solar.
Got another ZVZ all lined up for you guys. The Zergs doing very well yesterday, at least in the Jin Air versus KT matchup. We had 3 Zerg wins. They went 3-0. Rogue took 2 of those wins over Zest, known as the best Protoss or best player even in the world. So maybe David Kim rethinking that buff to Zerg, perhaps. Maybe Rogue showing the way for the Zergs nowadays.
It's good for Rogue to kind of be getting back on top as well. I mean, he's been having a hard time, you know, especially in the past month or so. Now, on this map, we did see that early drone scout actually going, using that bridge. This map's pretty interesting. It's New Gettysburg. Definitely one of the newest Starcraft 2 maps that's in use. But yeah, this bridge area in the lower center, it makes for some interesting games. I think especially in ZVZ, because if you get Baneling control on your side of the bridge, I mean, Lings cannot get out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this necessarily, if it doesn't end right away, it has to be a long game. Like you won't have an average ZVZ length game. Okay, so we got Solar right now blocking the would-be hatch. Looks like Dark just now got it down. Looks like Solar was
it in there.
APM was split somewhere else for a second, so didn't manage to deny that. And we also see that Dark is going to be getting that spawning pool done pretty quickly now. This is a pretty big-ass map, so I'm not sure if you have to worry too much if your pool's a little bit later here.
Yeah, I think so far Solar definitely getting the better end of the builds. So Dark going for more of a safe build here, just wanting to get that pool out and the speed very quickly. And just make sure he doesn't die to anything. It's not a super early pool, it's just pool before hatch. And Solar did, of course, get the scout off too, so he should be totally fine.
So we have the pool now finishing here for Solar. And we're going to have to wait a little bit here. ZVZ, I mean, you can kind of call the production tab to some extent, but you got to kind of wait until you see maybe like a huge Ling explosion or a layer start to pop up. A lot of times in ZVZ, you can see 2 different builds start out, you know, looking quite different, and they can kind of end up in the same spot. So it's always important not try to glean too much just from the initial openers.
Yeah. I mean, in general, the hatch first, I think, only gets a very, very slight advantage. You know, with the pool first, you get your earlier queen, you get the larva explosion. It's different benefits, of course.
Right, yeah. Now, we got Solar going for the Baneling's Nest here. Now, I do wonder if there will be any aggression here from Ling Bane at all. I think that Baneling Nest is almost more for looks. I think he wants to have that.
He wants to, you know, shore up the base, make it look a little bit more shiny.
Get the real estate a little bit more valuable at that base. No, what I'm saying is, like, you know, it's acts as a deterrent for Ling Banes, right? Now, down here for Dark, in the bottom left corner of his main, he's actually going for a Roach Warren. And with a Baneling Nest behind that.
Yeah, and he's already made a good number of Lings here. He has gone up to 10, and it looks like he wants to put on a little bit of aggression while he has that speed advantage, but the speed is going to finish up here for Solar, and he also made 4 Banelings, so
okay, so he's actually got the Lings coming around here. Seems like Solar with some decent star sense. No! Okay, I thought he was actually going to check down there for those. He needs to stay out of the vision of this. Okay, he's been spotted. Now the goal, as I'm sure many of you guys know, is to try to get 1 or 2 Lings targeted on their Baneling to try to chip it off and take it out, because you get a lot more value out of that. Also, note that Solar is going for a 3rd base now and a later Roach Warren. Meanwhile, 9 Roaches on the way here.
This Ling right here for Solar is so important.
That's right.
He needs to scout the Roaches, or he needs to see the drones.
Okay,
he sees the Roaches.
He knows.
And now he needs to prepare some kind of defense, but his Roach Warren is not ready. And he's supply blocked. He's floating 400 minerals at this point, making 2 Overlords.
Oh, it looks like he almost went the wrong way for a second there. Now, I believe the Lings that are running around here distracting Solar are going to be turned into Banelings. Now, he's making a dozen Banelings. Okay, wait. We see being made now. I don't know. There it is. All right. So he's going to make that. And the threat of the Roaches coming in here does force Solar to try to, you know, get control of this choke point. But those Banelings are going to finish up. I actually think Solar might be in a lot of trouble here, Valdez.
I think he may have overdrone just a little bit or saw this a little bit too late. He's making 9 Roaches now, but the army of Dark is already here, and these Banelings for Solar are being sniped now.
Oh, very poor connects. The Spinecrawler not quite done yet. It looks like the Banelings are going to go ahead and come in here now. And note, we see Dark being pretty frugal with those Banes. He detonates them. onto that spine crawler. Now he's going to continue to come forward. Now there's a lot more links and banelings being made here right now for Dark. Dark needs to get his legs up over here to block off. Here come the banelings now for Dark moving in. The drones have been pulled.
The drone's going back now, and there's still banelings left over. I think Dark just rolls over this army.
Well, this was a basic bro ZVZ, but I'll tell you what, it worked. No late game this time around. It's going to be Solar who's going to tap out. Dark with the comeback right now after having some lackluster games previously.
The comeback kid.
The comeback kid.
Solar getting a little bit too greedy in this game. Going for that third base.
Well, I gotta say, I think that having the roaches come out was great, but the fact that he hit those legs and then made the banelings, they were able to get over there very effectively. And so this game is over. I mean, I don't think there's any way that you can actually recover from this. We don't even really have drones mining anywhere. There it is, GG.
Dark finally getting that win that he had been missing for quite a while here at Pro League. I think he took 3 losses in a row, which is very un-Dark-like, but he finds that success. The CVC on New Gettysburg, and he looks very, very happy to do so.
I gotta say, I mean, he made that look very easy. It was pretty ABC, you know. Not too much more we can really remark about on that map.
Yeah, I mean, just very basic, right? It wasn't like there was a huge mistake made. I think maybe if Solar scouted a little bit more and identified that the push was coming earlier, he could have dealt with it. You know, maybe even cancel the third base, prepare a couple of spines, and he would have been ready for it, but he just saw it come in too late. And even though it is a big map, you have that bridge that goes directly over to your natural. And Dark was able to use that, put on a bit of aggression there, and take the win.
Yeah, Dark did it. I actually thought this was going to be like a long dramatic.
Yeah.
CVZ to start stuff off. I was like, all right, guys, well, there's not much we can say. And then I see those roaches coming, and I'm like, oh, that spine crawler's not quite done yet. You know, that third base. I don't know. I mean, I get what Solar was thinking. The same way I view the map, I feel like that's a map you really want to be in late game ZVZ on with Dark. He had the timing, and I think with those really well-placed links, he closed it out. We're going to be going to our next match in just a second here. But so far, a good start here for SKT.
For sure. I mean, they needed Dark to take that win to get them off to a good start. You know, they don't want to get Deer there if possible. SKT, the best situation for them is obviously a 3-0, so they don't have to see Deer. They get the best indicator points possible.
I totally agree with what you're saying, and it's kind of interesting because I think this is a totally fair statement. Deer is the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
You're
okay.
I think
everybody would be out here. I think
there's one guy out there that's like, no, reality's the best.
Man, Hazels, you don't get it. But in seriousness, I would expect that you would have to put Deer out earlier, right? Because Deer is one of the only guys who you can pretty much count on winning his game. But yeah, I mean, if SKT can get this into a 3-game streak of winning, then Deer's not even in the picture.
Yeah, I mean, this happens sometimes where players want to play on a specific map, and it just turns out that it's map number 4, and they're like, someone on our team is probably going to win, right? And then nobody wins, and then it's a 3-0, and then all of a sudden they're like face-palming like, oh, we should have put out Deer on a different map.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it happens.
So we're going to be hopping into game number 2. Again, that game was a lot shorter than I think we were all expecting.